Hi guys, I'm Selin.
And I'm Dennis. Hello everyone and welcome to our fourth Syncast. Before we start, I would like to remind you some things. We are currently live on Facebook, and throughout the broadcast you can state your opinions and ask your questions. Now today we have two guests who can answer your all hard questions. So you can bring it all.
Please, no hard questions.
They will answer.
Only easy ones.
And we are uploading to our records to Spotify and YouTube. And we already uploaded first 3 episodes of Syncast. They are waiting for you. And now we can start.
Yes, we're welcome to our fourth and the last one with us as a host Syncast. Here we are as a Syncro Synergy team, the other side. You know Brunito all the time, like hello from the first casting cast. And so today our topic is other side of ESC. Okay, why is the other side? So we always welcomed our friends who was as a volunteer before to make sure how you feel like to share their feelings. But today we will have more formal information. More specific, and from there will be their perspective. So if you're curious, we are waiting for you at the comment segment. And shall we introduce each other? Who wants to go first?
Yes. Who? Me?
Okay, Blanka.
Okay, I'm Blanka. By profession, I am a Master of Social Pedagogy, and at the moment I'm working in this beautiful organization, Syncro Synergy Croatia, as a project and volunteer coordinator.
Hi, I'm Zvonka. I also work here as a coordinator in Syncro Synergy Croatia since late last year.
Okay, very welcome again.
Mm-hmm.
Thanks. So
Thank you.
we can start our questions, but don't forget you're asking the questions, what you're curious about from the comments. We are waiting for you. Okay, would you go first?
Yeah, let's go first. How and why did you start to work in youth organization?
Okay, for me that's kind of a long story, so I will try to make it really short. Before Syncro, I had 2 other jobs, and after quitting my second job, I was in that part of my life when I was thinking what should do next. What job should I have? Should I go somewhere abroad? Should I stay in Croatia? And with what kind of job would I be happy in the end? In that time, I also discovered Erasmus Plus, and actually thanks to my sister Lea. She kind of gave me a push to join my first Erasmus Plus project in Romania. After that, I went also to Poland, and with Syncro I went to Spain. And after that project in Spain, Syncro needed to employ another person for for coordinating actually volunteers and projects here in Syncro. And they needed someone who has some knowledge about Erasmus Plus, some experience in that area, and also some professional background in social sciences. And that's actually how I came here to Syncro.
And how about you?
My story with Syncro is that I started going to Erasmus projects way back in high school, and then also continued during university. And this is how I got to know the projects, but from the other side, so to speak. So I was a participant, or later a group leader, and in the past 3 years, those projects were via Syncro. So Syncro was sending me out on these projects, including the volunteering service. So last autumn, when they needed a member, they thought of me, as I was working with them very closely, going to the projects and also as a mentor.
That's nice.
And let's go with what are the differences working in a youth organization compared to your past working life?
My last job before this one was in HR, so it is still some similarities, like working with people very closely, from managing. Also, there's some administration work, but also just human resources, and that is something that I do find similarities in this work. But also, this is not a corporation, so things go much more relaxed, so to speak. We have more fun maybe in this relaxed outside and inside situation. So that is definitely the difference that I see here working in an NGO versus corporations.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for me, working in youth organization is really, really different comparing to my previous jobs, because my first job was in a county court. I was working in an office for victims and witnesses support. And there I needed to talk with victims and witnesses of criminal acts about the legal process. I needed to explain them how everything in the courtroom looks like. I was giving them a lot of emotional support. I was listening a lot of their life stories. And in other job, I was actually working in children's home with kids that came to children's home because they had dysfunctional families. So the court decided that their families couldn't take care of them. So I was actually employed there, and I was the one taking care of them. And working in this NGO sector is totally different from both of my jobs. Like now I'm working with young people. At my first job I was working mostly with grown-up people in also total different setting and environment. On my second job I was working mostly with kids between 6 and 11 years old, something like that. And now I'm working more with young people, like between 18 and 30 or 30 something.
Yeah, that's nice. And we have comments, but there's an issue that's not English. When I translate Turkish, it's becoming so different. Is that Croatian?
Yes.
Yes, this is Croatian. At first something was wrong, something wasn't working, but Svetlana is saying that now everything is fine.
Oh, okay.
Okay, thank
We're
you.
glad you fixed. Okay, I'm continue with the question. Do you like being a coordinator for volunteers? How does that make you feel like? Yeah. Which one go first?
Yeah, I can start. It makes it very rewarding, I would say. Back to the last questions that we mentioned, like working with people. Here I have a much more immediate reaction to what we're doing with them. So we get to see everything they're doing and how does that make them feel. So for example, the workshops that they're currently working on in our current project Change, we get to see their reactions immediately after they're done, and also all the things and feelings they go through when they're preparing the workshops. So it's much more direct in this way. We get to help them directly, we get to see their happiness after that more directly, be there for help and advice and anything they need. So I like that hands-on approach that we have with them, especially in this last year, that lots of things have changed in the ways of working. For us, fortunately, we still, with some changes, get to have our work continue.
Yeah.
I would totally agree with Zvonka. I would like to say it's really, really rewarding being a coordinator and having this approach and this actually communication with young people that are motivated, they're enthusiastic to do something in their country, in their local communities, but also outside in some other countries, like here when it comes to European Solidarity Corps, where volunteers are coming, for example, here to Syncro and to volunteer in Zagreb. So I can say that I really, really love this job. I enjoy doing it. Of course, it's not always easy. There are some situations that are a bit stressful. Also now when it comes to COVID, we needed to change our activities a lot, and a lot of activities got cancelled. So there are always some struggles, but in the end, I would say it's really rewarding and really nice to work
Yeah,
in this kind of
positive.
environment.
That's very good.
I want to ask you, you already answered, but have you had any volunteering experience, not being coordinator? You say it. And what about you, Zvonka?
Did you have-
Yes, I did have my European volunteering service, which I attended in 2018, and I was also sent by Syncro. So Syncro was my sending organization. I had my 2 months volunteering in the Netherlands.
Right. Is this motivating
Yes.
you as working in an NGO?
Definitely. I learned a lot there, and I really wanted to see what's on the other side also. So I was very motivated to continue being a part of the projects, but also to discover more how to be a coordinator or maybe even a facilitator one day.
Yeah, both sides is very good actually to experience that. I like it. Yeah. So, from your perspective, what are the differences between long and short-term volunteering?
Well, short-term volunteering is from 2 weeks to 2 months long, and long-term volunteering is from 2 months to 12 months. So we can say there is a huge difference between them. I would say that short-term volunteering is really good for people that maybe don't have time to join for some longer volunteering projects. Maybe for people that are working, so they can use their 2 weeks vacation or something like that to take the opportunity to go abroad. And also for people that are thinking to join some long-term volunteering, but they're not quite sure how it will be for them. So this short-term volunteering opportunity is good for them to go outside, to go abroad, to live somewhere else for 2 months, for example, and then to see how it works for them, and maybe after that they can have a better perspective about how it is to live abroad and volunteer abroad, how it is to be without their families, be without their friends, and maybe to make a decision for the future if they want to join some longer project.
A kind of trial, the short one.
Yes, exactly.
That's very good. And from your perspective, what are the differences?
Well, just to add on what Blanka already said, I also think the difference is that in 2 months they are usually a bit more structured, a bit more led by the coordinators that they have. And in 12 months there is more focus on the personal projects. Most of the time, of course, it depends from the project to project, but people are way more independent, and they also have a bit more of freedom in creating what they are doing in their projects. So something that was given to them, but also to create something of their own.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, hello guys from Spain. Yeah, you can say something, but it's also not again English. So, is it?
It's hello in Dutch.
Oh, hello. Okay, so we can go with the other. You wanna continue?
Yeah, I want to ask you, could you tell some things about the projects that you coordinate or you organize with some examples?
I can start very shortly because Change is the first one that I coordinated, as I have been only here for a few months. So this is my beginning so far, an eighth round of the project. So it's a project that has been in Syncro for some time now, and this is my stepping stone to something more later.
Yeah. I can also say that Changing the World from My Neighborhood is actually I would say the most important maybe and the biggest project that Syncro is implementing. We already had 80 volunteers in this project, and we also had different coordinators. At first it was Ivana, also our colleague Im participated in coordination of Change. I was the coordinator at some point, and now Zvonka is coordinator of Change. We had so far, at the moment actually we are having 8th rounds of 10 volunteers in this project. So it's a team volunteering project. At the moment, I'm also coordinating the project of these two beautiful people that are sitting next to me. It's project written by our amazing partners from Turkey. And so I had a chance, thanks to our Turkish colleague Irem, I had a chance to meet these two beautiful people.
Thank you.
Thank you for hosting and everything.
Thank you for coming and deciding to join.
Emotional moments in the studio.
Give us a minute.
Yeah, I'm also at the moment coordinating another project that is actually not volunteering project, it's training course in partnership with our amazing trainers Corina from Romania and Panayotis from Cyprus. It's a project with the topic of mentorship in European Solidarity Corps. So it will be actually focused on mentorship process in ESC, and mentors will be able to join and to learn more and to develop their mentorship skills.
Good, effective ones. Yeah. I want to ask you, did you have any difficulties to manage it, and what was the reason behind that difficulty? Like the coordinator part to managing, or I don't know.
I have become a coordinator during Corona times, so that would be one obvious example, because there have been lots of changes that we had to implement to keep the project going in these times, and obviously it is making things quite hard, much more hard to also for us and for the people coming here. There are difficulties in travel just to get here, let alone some other things that we had to adapt, from the measures we constantly have to check and respect for implementing the project here, to the things that we have to take care, for example, the lockdowns in the countries, which sometimes prevent people from coming to Croatia. There have been lots of changes, and we have to keep track of them all the time. We have been in this for a year now, but there's always something new around the corner.
Of course, it's something still something new, I think, even though it's 1 year thing. Yeah, you always need to track what's going on, what are the restrictions. Yeah, that's the most difficult part.
Yes.
And for me,
I would totally agree with Zvonka again. I would also say that the most difficult part is connected to these actually COVID times. Now it's way harder to organize activities, especially during winter time.
yes,
And we need to focus more on online activities, and I know that a lot of people are having the feeling that they don't want to participate anymore, because everything appears online lately in the last year or last couple of months. And during winter you can't even have outside activities because it's too cold outside. One other thing that was extremely challenging for me is that by following the measures, we can't have all of the volunteers at one time in our office, because there needs to be the exact number of people in one space regarding how huge is that space. And we have a lot of volunteers at the moment. We have 12 volunteers, so Celine, Denise, and 10 other volunteers that are participating in Change project. So it's a bit harder to have, for example, Monday morning meetings or some other meetings where it would be really easier to have all of them and to communicate all of them at the same time.
And also just for the team spirit, it's very nicer to have everybody together.
yeah,
Definitely, to work on that group cohesion between themselves.
Okay, firstly, hello Ilyas. And Bruno, I have a question. We are going with a little bit Facebook questions. What would be your advice to someone who would like to work as a youth worker? Nice question, I like.
I would say try to be relaxed as possible. Try to keep that human touch. Be friendly. I think not only about the project and about the activities that needs to be done, but also about the perspective of volunteers, about how they feel, about do they need maybe some additional support. So I think there are actually a lot of skills that project coordinator needs to have, and a lot of aspects of work that coordinator needs to think of. But in the end, yeah, be yourself, be friendly, be relaxed, and be there for your volunteers.
Oh, that's cute. And thank you for warning, Svetlana. I think it's correct. Maya asking, how do you choose people for projects? Do you have some criteria while choosing them?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Well, depends on the project, but
Mhm.
there is always a big number of criteria. So I have only been a part of the selection for our project Change. So first of all, we have 10 different countries per round. So this is also one major category that we have to take care of. So some eligibility, like age, country, so more things that you apply with. But then also in the interview phase, we also look at more of the background and the character and see how that will fit in the project as we have it. For example, in Change, you will be working with children, so we are also looking for this kind of connection. And also living closely with 9 other people from 9 different countries and cultures. So we're looking for someone who can then find themselves in that.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it depends on the description of the project. So, as the main things, this can be counted. And do you want to add something?
No, I agree. I mean, it really depends from project to project and on the activities that organization wants to implement. For us, I can say that we are having an interview with every person that is actually applying to participate in the project. We are asking them some questions regarding the project activities, regarding their previous experience, and especially regarding their motivation, because that is in
Very
the end
important.
actually, yes, it's extremely important when you're going to volunteer. So we also want to hear the other side, like why they would like to join and why they would like to join specifically this project. And after that, we are having like discussion in our team, and we are going through all of the applications, and then we are deciding who will come to volunteer.
Yeah, that's the basic
And
process.
sometimes I can also say that sometimes it's extremely hard and we struggle a lot, and we feel really, really bad that we can't have more volunteers. But yes, sometimes you just need to choose one person and get over it.
Yes.
And hope that another applicants will find some other amazing opportunities, maybe in some other countries, or maybe also in Croatia, in Zagreb, in some other organizations, or in our projects in the future.
Exactly.
There's a lot of opportunities, guys. Just keep
Yes.
searching.
check what there is.
Yes, yes, agree. And
I think we have one more question.
oh, yes. Juana asking, do you find your jobs to be rewarding and fulfilling?
Yes, I think I already said that like 5 times, that yeah, I feel that being a project coordinator is really, really rewarding for me. Like working with all these amazing people that wants to do something in their life, that wants to meet other people, that wants to make change in their community or in other communities in other countries. It's extremely amazing and nice, and it makes me happy.
Yeah, I can only agree with what has been said, because we have also mentioned
Yeah.
that at the beginning when we talked about our job as coordinators, that this is what makes us happy here.
Yeah, I mean, yes. Would you like to say yes?
Yeah, let's talk about little present. How COVID affect the projects? How it's affect the works here?
Blanka already mentioned some of the restrictions. For
Mhm.
example, specific number of people allowed per square meter. This is also something that we have to be always mindful of. We have also some limitations regarding the spaces where we can have our things. For example, as already mentioned, winter is a bit harder because we don't have outside
Mhm.
spaces for our activities as much as maybe during some other seasons. And closed spaces are very, very limited, especially for this kind of activities that we are doing. And our offices, of course, are not suitable for every kind of activity we would like to do. So that is
Yeah.
definitely one of the everyday
Mm-hmm.
things
Yes.
we have to deal with.
Although I can add that there are also some positive sides of COVID, because now we have there are actually pros and cons for that. For online activities, now we have more online activities, but that also means that we can have people from other countries that are participating in our activities.
Yes.
So a lot of our ex-volunteers are coming to join us to participate, a lot of friends from volunteers, their families, for example. So it's really nice because in this way we can also reach a higher amount of people as participants in our activities. So yeah, there is something that is good too.
Yes.
Regarding the bigger reach, we've had a similar effect with moving our workshops with children online,
Yeah.
because we have been limited to Zagreb schools before, because that was what our project was about. But then when we were faced with the challenge of moving workshops online, the good thing that we haven't really thought of at first was that more schools could join, because all they needed was a camera and a good internet connection. So now we're working with schools all over Croatia.
Yeah. All positive and negative sides comes
Yeah.
together.
Yeah.
And also now we are here doing a Syncast. Maybe it's also effect of
Yeah.
COVID, right?
Also one more online activity.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we have a lot of questions. Okay, are you ready? Olivia asking to Zvonka, how do you feel that your own ESC affects you as a coordinator?
Good question, thank you. I think that having that experience, I remember the things that I have experienced there, such as who my mentor was and how my relationship was with them, who my coordinators were, how the project went. So while it is important to make a distinction, because not all of the projects are the same, not all the sending organizations and receiving organizations are the same, it's still, I know how I felt and what I would want for myself, for example, in a way of supporting of the volunteer and the activities and the conversations that you have with your mentor, with your coordinators, how to ask for what you need. And now being on the other side, it helps me understand the volunteers better. At least I hope so.
Nika asking, okay, what don't you like about your job?
I can say that I don't like administration, like working with papers, with documents, scanning, collecting. Yes, I don't like so much that part of the job, but I think it's necessary, definitely.
Yeah, paperwork, being
Yeah.
legal.
I agree with Blanka. It's just some necessary background work that is needed to keep the work running, but it's definitely not among the favorite parts of the job.
I mean, everyone's dream. Ivana asking, what's the key to choosing a project that suits you the best? Yes. I think this is kind of interview evaluation thing. While you're interviewing? Do I know?
I think this question is going more towards like volunteers.
Yeah.
Yes.
Perspective of everything. So when correct us, Ivana, Maya, if we are wrong. You are asking how a person that wants to volunteer in some project, how they're choosing, how should they choose maybe a project.
Yeah, maybe.
Yes, it really depends on what you like to do in your life. What are your hobbies? maybe what is your profession. I think it's the most important thing is the motivation, like why you want to go. Maybe someone wants to go to a specific country because they want to learn a language, or they want to learn more about the specific culture of that country. Some people want to improve their professional skills. So, for example, if a person is I don't know, a pedagogue, for example, maybe they would like to join some project where they have an opportunity to work more with kids, to create some kind of workshops and similar. Maybe some people just want to go and to chill and relax and to go to some rural areas, like outside of the city where they are living at the moment, to work more with plants, with animals and similar. So it's really different from person to person. I think the most important thing is the motivation and what actually person wants to achieve while they are volunteering somewhere. Yeah,
you want to add something?
I agree. I think just that the description of the project is very important, because if you're motivated to go there, any challenges that come across, it will be easier to handle this.
Okay, I'm continuing second. Olivia asking, why did you choose to start working with an NGO and with youth? Ooh, questions keep coming. Oh yeah, this answer, sorry.
Thanks for the clarification.
Yeah, Olivia is...
Well, I already said that I started being involved more with Erasmus Plus projects, and I discovered that I really like the idea behind it. I really like the idea of international projects, of going abroad, of meeting people that have different cultural backgrounds, that have different life experiences, and I really believe in idea of working with different young people and thinking about creating better future and some positive changes in first local communities, and then actually on more global level, like on European level, and also the whole world level. And yeah, then I discovered that I really enjoy participating in this kind of projects. I really believe in an idea behind the project, and that I would like to work more within this area.
For me, it is the fact that I have been cooperating with NGOs, so volunteering for them, being ESC mentor for some time. So that was always something that I wanted to do. It was just something that until recently I thought I would be doing as a side job to my actual job. But now that I have managed to make it my reality, I'm very happy with the development. And also for just working with youth, it is something that comes kind of with the territory, but it is also something that I have always wanted. I was also interested in becoming a teacher, so this is also something very similar to that. And I also come from a family with 6 children, so this was kind of always my life. So it makes sense for me to stay in this lane.
Yeah, we were suitable, actually, yeah. And Ivana asking, what were your job expectations versus reality?
Yeah, how are you finding to being coordinator?
What did you think before you come here, and what did you discover? Can you say this is not what I thought? Well, did you ever say that?
I think that's my expectations and reality were pretty similar. But the thing with me is that before coming to work in Syncro, I had a lot of experience in working with people. because of my profession and because of my volunteering experience in local level before. So I already kind of knew how it is to work in NGO. I knew how it is to create some projects of your own, to create some workshops, to create some activities, and to work with groups of people. So for me, there weren't so many like differences.
And you? You think?
Same here. I never once said this was not what I expected. Maybe there were some little things that differed from what I thought, but nothing major. Nothing major. It's still very similar to what I had in mind. So
I mean,
far.
there is always something new that pops out and that you need to learn, or maybe some skills that you should develop. Like that is something that you see when you start doing some job. And in this work, I think there is always something more that you can learn and always some more skills that you can develop. So yes, I would say there is always something more and something new. But in general, when we are talking about general like differences between expectations and reality, yeah, it was here some.
Okay, that's okay. Nika asking, do you feel like your work has changed you to be better? I mean, yeah, being a better, or what do you think? Did you
Definitely.
change? Really?
I feel like
which area, like, what do you think?
I would say all areas a little bit. I don't know how to limit that to just certain areas, because as Blanka said, it always challenges you to learn more, and this is what I like about this sort of job, is that you always have to learn more and you never stop growing, and if you want to stay in that lane, you always have to work on yourself constantly, and I'm glad that this field is motivating you to do so also.
Yeah, actually, yeah, it's very dynamic when you consider it perfectly. And always self-improvement included. And but it's what's your perspective in this question?
I agree. I agree. I mean, I already said that there is a lot of stuff, and being a project coordinator, it doesn't mean only one thing, like you have one activity that you need to do. There is a lot of stuff and a lot of areas where you can develop yourself and where you can grow. So I think there are a lot of positive changes while doing this job.
Ivana says, what advice would you give to someone who wants to start their own NGO? Oh, I like this question.
Me too, but I haven't got there yet, so I wouldn't say I'm qualified to answer this.
Observation, maybe tiny observation.
I would say prepare yourself to work hard, to work a lot.
Full-time job.
Don't
really
lose
full-time.
your motivation. There will always be some struggles, but in the end, you would feel that everything comes to really nice. Like, I don't know, everything comes to one place. Nothing?
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
proper. I think.
And that you are starting, and as the time will pass and as you will be having more and more activities, you will feel that actually all the struggles or maybe some difficulties that you had at the beginning were actually okay, and you will feel happy that you went through all of them, and that you can actually do something good for people around you.
Not from my own personal experience, but you don't have to know it all, and don't be afraid to ask for help.
Yes, definitely.
That's a good one. Maybe I can even consider. Olivia asking, if not start an NGO, advice for someone who wants to work in one.
Well, that's
I think
something
this
similar
asked-
to your
yeah.
question.
Yes. We also answered this one. That's similar. You can also check from our records.
Reach reach out to people you know already work there. Feel free to ask for their advice on how they started their journey. And also reach out to the NGOs around you to see what they're working on and what field you would feel closest to.
Yes. Nika said, "Ooh, sorry." Nika says, "Volunteers come and go. That's dramatic. How do you deal with that? Are you still in contact with former volunteers?"
Yes, and sometimes it is really hard because you bond with people and you're really glad to have them here, and you make some kinds of connection, and you kind of get used to having them around and to talk with them and to prepare activities with them, and also to spend some of your free time with them. So sometimes it is really, really hard when volunteers are going back to their countries, but of course with that we are keeping in touch with them. We are also seeing them now in some of our online activities, so that is extremely nice.
We also meet.
Yes, and you too should come to our online activities.
Of course.
So I can see you.
Keep in touch.
No doubt.
And also I can say that a lot of them also wants to come back to Croatia or to find a job in Croatia, so that is also nice to hear. And we are always telling our volunteers that they are welcomed here whenever they are coming. Is that for another volunteering project or only for traveling, or if they are coming to work here to find a job or maybe to study here, we always tell them that they are welcome to come here to organization, to us, and we are happy to see them again.
Mario asking, did you ever face a situation where a long-term volunteer was feeling homesick and didn't adapt to the new surrounding? How would you handle with that situation as a project coordinator? Did you ever have this?
Me, no, because I am employed in Syncro for a year and a half, and I met 4 long-term volunteers, and as far as I know, nobody felt homesick. So far we really didn't had a problem with that. Like, everyone enjoyed their time here and they want to stay more, and they were
Cozy.
thinking, yes. And our previous long-term volunteer, Madalena, came back to Croatia to volunteer in another ESC project, short-term, in Daruvar, so I also had a chance to see her again, which was extremely nice. So yeah, I really can't say that we had problems with homesicknesses. But also what I would like to say, that if you are going to volunteer for a long period of time somewhere abroad, that doesn't mean that you can't go back to your families, because I also know some long-term volunteers that are going back. For example, if they go for 1 year of volunteering abroad, they are going back for holidays to visit their families. So it's not like you're going for volunteering and you don't have any free time. You also have some kind of vacations or holidays or free days, so you can go back. But what is also important is that you constantly talk to your volunteers. You ask them how do they feel, and if they say anything regarding that they don't feel okay, that, I don't know, they miss their families, friends, something, I think it is important to know that and to give them like as much support as you can.
Yeah. You want to add something?
Maybe just to go back to the short-term versus long-term question from the beginning. That is why one of the advice that I give to people who are interested into venturing into this world is to try the short-term first if they're not sure how they're going to react. because
Yes.
in my opinion at least that will prepare them for the long term better, and then they can also see for themselves how fast, for example in this question, how fast they would get homesick, if at all. So it's also a good thing to test themselves how good they would adapt in another country environment, and to see if they're fit for a longer time. It's okay if they are, it's okay if they're not.
But I'm warning, if you be participant in a short term, you cannot extend it as the same project. So, I mean, decide good way. So, could you tell us about the projects you organized and coordinated with some examples, maybe?
I think we actually
Yeah.
went through this question while talking about change and your project, and also Forging
Yeah,
Mentors Powers
actually.
project. So kind of,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't think there's nothing for me that I can add to that
Yeah,
question. I
same.
don't know if there is for you.
You don't also have?
Yeah.
Okay, we can continue. Like, then how was the feedback of the participants in general?
The feedback is that they want to stay more here.
I told you. I told you. But
Yeah, most of the time when the project is coming to an end, everyone starts saying, "Oh no, I want to stay more. I want to join another project. When you will have another project?" We also have a lot of questions from ex-volunteers, like when we will have some projects that are involving their country, so they can come back to Syncro, back to Zagreb and Croatia. And that is really, really nice to hear. And we want to see them all again.
no.
And also them appearing in our online events is also very nice to see, because that also kind of is a sign that they liked it and they want to see what the people who came after them are doing and how they're doing. So that's also very nice.
Yeah, these are so cute things. Oh, we have a question. Maya asking, do you have conflicts between volunteers and how do you handle those situations? I didn't experience between like our thing. But did you had?
Did you have conflict?
That we don't know about.
I swear don't.
No.
No, there was.
No.
Okay, I'm offended. But did you ever really experience that, like in a serious way, not jokey?
In the groups, in the projects where I was a coordinator, I can say that there really weren't serious conflicts between volunteers.
Did you?
So, yeah, as a
Mhm.
coordinator, I don't have experience like that.
That's
There were some examples before when I wasn't coordinator, and of course I think it's normal to have some kind of conflicts,
Yeah,
especially when it comes to team volunteering projects, and when you have a lot of volunteers that have totally different, maybe not totally different, but in some part they have some different perspectives and ideas on some I don't know, topics and different cultural backgrounds and life experiences. So I think it's totally normal to have some kind of communication struggles, and it's normal for people that they don't agree on everything and that they are not on the same page on everything, because also world would be really boring place if everyone would agree and think the same. What is important in that case is that you have really good relationship with your volunteers, so they trust you and they tell you what is going on. And what is even more important is that through communication and honest conversation with everyone, you're actually trying to solve and to see what can be solved and what can't be solved, because there are also some situations maybe where the problem can't be solved, but there you can reach maybe some kinds of agreement, like, okay, I can do this, you can do this, maybe that what you will do is not exactly what I want to do, but I can live with that and I'm okay with that. So yeah, I think there needs to be really good communication process between everyone and a lot of honesty.
Would you like to add?
No, I agree. I agree with everything that has been said. In some Erasmus summits that invite the volunteers from the previous years, I have had a chance to meet some of the volunteers who were the volunteers at the same time as I was. And I remember that some of those stories didn't end well, meaning that they had to go home early because of some things that have happened like that, some conflicts. So there is also a good way and a bad way these things can end, definitely.
Yes. Also agree. Luckily we didn't have this period, so I'm very happy
Mhm.
actually.
Exactly.
We were all good. And we
Okay,
are coming to
let's-
the last question.
Yeah, let's take the last questions if you have more.
And we are coming to our last question.
Yeah,
And we are also run out of time. So
yeah. Our last cliche question: what is the suggestion to young people who never been participated before projects? What is your advices?
yay.
Go. Please go.
Go or come.
Type or come. Yes,
Mhm.
come to us.
Agreed. Just think about topics that interest you, because that will definitely raise your motivation to go. Any other thing that you can have in mind, for example, the country that you would like to go in, anything that could help you decide, and then apply for projects.
Yes. What I would also like to add to everyone that would like to apply for this kind of volunteering project is that there you will always have support. There needs to be one organization from your country that is actually supporting organization, and then there is a hosting organization in some country that is actually implementing the project you're applying for. So you don't worry about anything. There are people who know their job, who are working with volunteers for quite some time now. You can reach them, you can talk to them, you can reach the organization for which project you want to apply for. You can ask them questions. Just don't feel ashamed if you don't know something. There are people there that want to help you, that want to answer to your questions. And also there will be people that will support you along the way, like from the beginning, from your preparation for coming to a volunteering project abroad, during the volunteering process, and also when you will come back to your home country. So don't worry, just look for the projects, find what suits you the best, and enjoy in the end. Enjoy and grow and develop new skills and gain more knowledge and I don't know, meet new people and have a lot of new friendships. It will be really amazing experience. And for actually a lot of volunteers that went through this project, a lot of them say that it was also a life-changing experience, and I really believe them.
Yeah, I also agree to that. As
I agree myself, yes.
Would you like to add?
Well,
The
also
best
from the
person.
perspective of the volunteer, it was a life-changing experience for me, and it brought me to where I work right now, and everything that has changed since then. So it is in my life personally definitely a good move. So I can just confirm everything Blanka said, because I haven't heard of anyone who ever regretted the move.
Yes, we did that. And I'm taking the last question from the comments. Are you Second. Are you employed on a project basis or?
No. I mean, most of our finances in an NGO we are getting thanks to the project that we are applying. But we are not employed on a project basis, meaning that we have one project approved and then we have one person employed to work on that project.
Is there anything that you would do differently in Rome? Mine. I like this one.
Well,
Yeah,
we're looking forward.
You?
Well, we're looking forward to better weather and more outside events because that would
Yes.
allow us to have more people in the same space.
Sun.
Yes, that's definitely something I'm personally looking forward to.
Me too. I'm frozen. Okay.
And the
I
next
think-
round is upcoming event, upcoming project for Syncro. Do you have more projects for upcoming?
At the moment, we are actually waiting for the new program guides to come out for the time between 2021 and 2027, and the deadline for applying new projects will be in May. So we are actually now in the time where we are thinking about new projects and about writing them and applying them, and we will apply them in May and hope that they will get approved so we can have a chance to meet more amazing and nice and cheerful people.
Of course. I believe that will come.
Okay, then
Yes, it's time to go.
yeah, we have reached the fourth episode of Syncast now, and this means this is our mine and Celine's our last episodes with
Yes.
you. But I think it will continue. This series will continue, right?
Yes. The podcast.
Yes.
So you can still have a chance without us, but okay.
It
I mean,
won't be
think
the
about
same.
it.
I can say it won't be the same.
The
So,
first and
yeah.
remarkable ones.
So we are so happy if you learned some things, if you had fun, and if you had good time with us. And I would like to thank you all who listened to us and who will listen. Thank you very much.
And you can find our 4 Syncast episodes on our channels, both Spotify and YouTube. We are uploading. Also, you can find from the Facebook again. Keep in touch for us. Syncro's accounts for more. We were plus, as I said. But I know you will enjoy the rest because, everyone in here is so full of energy and creativeness. So I believe it will continue exactly the same. So maybe we can see each other together, like as a guest in continued times. Who knows? We will miss you so much. Yes, and
Yes.
goodbye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Bye.
Bye.